It's clobbering time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
It's clobbering time! Clobberanimo!
Greetings, my dear clobberers, clobberanimos, clobberooskies, clobberoiders, clobberoids, clobberians, clobberots, klobotskis, all of you, all the clobs. And for those still waiting to become one, the secret is to bang the rocks together, guys. Good to see you all, my dear friends. Welcome. That Clobbererin Times issue number 651 on YouTube, 1,351 overall the past 13 zillion years, and of course, wild card Wednesday night, the night where it's wild, and I'm a card. And it's also Wednesday and at night. All those things combined for wild card Wednesday night. A night with Clobby, where you just get to hang out with Clobby and clob around a little bit, and we hang out and we clob, for lack of a better term. And it's busy out there on the big time worldwide webs and the YouTubes. So I appreciate anyone who is hanging out with me. Hopefully more of our dear friends will arrive soon. No scheduled topic tonight, but I will think of something. I always do. Good to see you all, my friends. I guess I'll just start out with some show notes and the shout outs, shall I? Show notes, the shout outs, shall I? Let's see up and you, of course, it's about a night. Where did I put that sucker? Where? Let me see. Where are you? Did I make? Oh my goodness! Don't tell me I didn't do it. Where are you? Where are you, you sucker? Well, I know I made it, and now I can't freaking find it. But I made a picture. Anyway, tomorrow night is of course the clubhouse on Thursday nights. And have me a nice picture for it, dang it. And who knows what I did with it. Well, gosh darn it. Well, tarnation, Matthew, you messed it up, didn't you? Yep. Well, okay. Anyway, tomorrow night is clubhouse number 100. Number 100. I thought I sent that to myself. What did you do? Let me see. Find you. Let me find that thing. I want to put it up there. Damn it. What was wrong with you? You had it made and everything. I know I made it. Let's see. Maybe we just didn't send it to it. There you are. There you are. All right. Send that sucker to yourself. You jerk. There we are. Okay. So I'm going to grab that sucker and put that sucker up there because I'm too damn ignorant to not do it. All right. There we go. Okay. Yep. It is Clobby's Clubhouse 100 tomorrow night. Yes. Fabulous prizes and, well, okay. I can't really say prizes, I must admit, but it'll be fun though. Oh, you know what? I'm an idiot. I did send it to myself. Sorry, everybody. I'm a complete and utter imbecile because I have it right here in front of my bloody face. Here we are. I just didn't load it. Now I've loaded it. All right. All right. Anyway, tomorrow night, everybody. Clobby's Clubhouse number 100. Big whooping deal. Yeah. Yes. Well, tarnation, Matthew. I sure is. I'm glad Larry got it. Okay, yes. So anyway, the big 100. Can't believe we've done 99 clubhouses, and so we'll do it tomorrow night. We'll have a little fun, just some, Yep, 100th. You gotta. I don't know what it is. You gotta celebrate those landmarks, don't you? Yeah. So it should be tons of fun. We will have fun till our daddy takes our starship away. All right. So and then what else is going on? Then of course, Thursday night will be on. But before this, I'll be on with the great Tom Connors and my good buddies, our good buddies over at midnight. Said Jeff the Doc, and then Friday nights. Wrong one. Friday night with the great J-Man and the group. J-Man and the great Decepticon and I will review 4 more issues of. Is it 4? It's 4. Yeah. Of Jack Kirby's Fourth World. That'll be 6 p.m. my time, 7 Central, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 7 Eastern. Tomorrow, Friday nights, every Friday night, Kirby's Fourth World reviewed by the great J-Man, Sean, and myself. What a fun time that is. Then, of course, it's after that at 8:30 Central with the great Friday Night Comic Shop Boys, led by my good buddy on his channel, his amazing channel, 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser. And then, of course, Saturday night Star Trek. Same Trek time, same Clobby channel, 9 p.m. Central Standard, like all 4 of my shows here throughout the course of the week. And here we got 4 more episodes reviewed of Star Trek Voyager. And this one is going to be epic-y because Voyager, unlike almost any other of the Treks, they all have them, I guess. Voyager has infamous episodes. 2 weeks ago, we did an infamous episode called Threshold, and it is bad. This week we're going to have Tuvix, another infamous episode. So, looking forward to that. Then, of course, it's the Sunday Night Geekery on Mark D with the C channel, our great chief engineer. And the Geekery will be 10 p.m. Eastern, and who knows, eventually could transform into the Eatery, as it is often want to do. And then, of course, Monday nights on the great J-Man's channel back again, and that's, of course, 7 Eastern. Sean and J-Man and I reviewing chronologically every appearance of the Legion of Superheroes in order from 1958 to 1989. We're having a great time doing that. And now, some shout outs to all my dear friends out there, starting with our good great wrenches who, whether they're here or not, they get the shout out. Of course, there's the great Eric K., the Bronze Wrencher, Chris Persia, Vindicator Wrencher, the Great White North. Thank you, buddy, for all you do. Great to see you, man. Always appreciate you, brother. The great Wrencher Lion, D. Bud Martin, Chief of Security, the great cop himself, Lord Thoth. Avon lives, long live the Legion, my friend. And of course, even a shout out to his lovely better half, Lady Thoth. my partner in crime on Earth, be fellow reviewer Kirby and Legionnaire viewer extraordinaire, J-Man. All right, brother. Good to see you. Thanks for that shirt, buddy. Ugly Boy, master of the Clobbererin, comics artist extraordinaire and painter of the cover of Science Fiction Tales, the extraordinary tome by my wonderful first officer, Commander R.M. Briggs. Stephen Cowell, the Wrench Supreme, and the rascally wrench himself, Fanty Outsidery, Maddie's Daddy, Wielder of Reach Mjolnir, and Thor in Vegas, and of course, Clobbererin Time's own Music Meister. And let's see who is in the chat. I don't know who all's in there, but I will know in a second. Let's run that back. J-Man was here. Gasp. Choke. Doc Fortune. Hey, what's up, Doc? Wagner. What's up, buddy? Gwag. Claude Selling. Hey there, Claude. Good to see you. Always great to have you here, my friend. I'm good to see you there. Larry. What's up, Larry, buddy? Penny. Hey, Penny. It's good to see you, Penny. I hope you are doing well, my dear. Picasso. Now the girls would turn the color of an avocado when they drive down the street in his, what he would drive down the street in his Eldorado. Picasso. Good to see you, oh. That's about everyone so far. Light night so far. Not all of our friends are here yet. Anyone lurking, by the way? Thank you so much for lurking. And anyone listening on a download or a re-listen, we want to thank you so much. And as always, R.I.P. our dear friend, Gil Bavel Cardinalson. We're already missing you, buddy. Hasn't even been a week yet. Still doesn't feel real. Still doesn't feel right. We love you, man. So here we are, the Wednesday, middle of the week. And it's a wild card week. What to talk about? What is everyone talking about out there? Because, but we don't, you know me. I don't usually go in for what everyone is talking about, but I do it sometimes. So everyone is talking about a couple of things out there. They're talking about One Piece, which I will talk about a little bit. But first, they're all talking about Ahsoka. Well, not all of them, but a lot of people are talking about that. Am I the only one out there dumb enough to be watching Ahsoka right now? I bet I am. I bet none of you are watching it, right? Anybody watching the drivel? By the way, you're very smart if you're not. Anyone else put yourselves through that drivelity? I bet not. Who's watching it? Let's see. I should have made a poll. So Chris is not. Larry, does that mean you have watched it or you haven't? You got a couple of thumbs up, I guess, assuming that you are watching it. Quagdar, I hear you about Threshold. So, well, man, you're not. Like I said, it's already talked to death by everyone. I have not. Well, good. There you go. So I'm not going to spend any real time on it, other than saying it's boring beyond belief. It's not interesting. I'm one of those. I liked Rebels. I watched Clone Wars and Rebels. And I thought they were okay, but this thumbs up are for you after saying my name. Oh, thank you, buddy. Gotcha. Let's see. Tom almost fell asleep on Minutes After Dark because they talked about Ahsoka for an hour and he hasn't watched it, nor will he. He doesn't need to. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's just, yeah, it makes me, look, I got enough problems staying awake with my sleep apnea problems, different things I've been having lately. I better not talk about it because it just gets me so dreary. I mean, you know what's just good? if you really, really hate something and you get talking about, you might be able to get fired up, and therefore excited. And, even if you don't like it, at least, you're going off about something. As opposed to also if you really like something, get excited about it to talk about it. When something is so bland, like a shoka, it's tough to even get charged up to talk about it. I was over there listening to my good old boy Doomcock, my buddy Doomcock, and he gets fired up about it. I'm like, that's good for them. They can get fired up. I can't. It's just so don't care. And again, I'm one who liked Rebels. I liked the Clone Wars, but I never liked the character of Ahsoka anyway. Simply Steve. And Admiral Thrawn was a joke. I mean, I like the actor, and it's the same actor that did the voice on Rebels. But Jesus Christ, they really, and people are not, I thought people were kind of over exaggerating this, but it looks true. He really is. He really does look like a blue Elon Musk. Like they did this on purpose so they could throw shade at Elon Musk. I mean, the actor's fine. The actor's kind of people are making fun of him for having a dad bod or whatever. Larry said, I thought Clobby was on 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser last night, but I think, no, Nick was on Comics Division show last night, so I don't think he had a show on his channel last night. As far as I know, I think Nick only does one stream a week, and it's the comic shop thing. But he's on a lot of other people's channels. But, yeah, man, it's not even worth going into, so I'm not. I'll let everybody else handle it. There have been multiple videos about it that are really well done. They do the legwork. I'll sit through any old crap if I can stay awake. But I have no compunction to make a video. Oh, yeah, Toxic Tuesdays. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, he's got two of them. My bad. I have no real big urge to make a video about, these things. And I'm glad, there are plenty of them out there you can watch. And I've watched a lot of reviews on it, but so I'm just throwing my 2 cents in there. It's boring. It's not particularly well done. It looks good and all that stuff's got good looks, but here's why I'm only bringing it up for this to segue into what I wanted to talk about. When I watch Ahsoka, the whole tone of it, if you do watch it, I think you might notice it's weird, this tone that I watch. It's like I'm watching it, like I'm listening to NPR or something like tonight on Ahsoka. Tonight, Ahsoka will fight somebody with lightsabers, and they're bringing the Empire back, and they're going to look for Ezra. David Glenn, you're not late at all. It's great to see you. So if you see what I'm saying, and I'm not going too far into it, Ahsoka makes me, the show, it induces sleep because the whole tone of it, any TV show, then we all get, it doesn't matter how exciting a TV show or a movie is. If you're dead tired and you're old, I can fall asleep during anything, true, but usually if I'm in the mood to watch something and I'm watching it, whether it's something I know really well and love or first time I'm seeing it, the tone, especially if it's science fi fantasy type adventure type stuff, supposedly, or superheroes, there's supposed to be some sort of upbeat tone that involves you in it, that catches your eye, that gets you excited. That's what anything called Star Wars, anything that falls under the Star Wars banner that's what it's supposed to do. Okay? If it doesn't create the excitement first, forget about it. The first Star Wars film in 1977 opens up with pure excitement. Belba Doom, what's up, buddy? Says, Hail to the Fellowship. I have up on Star Wars years ago. I think we gave up. Okay. What surprised me is One Piece. I'm about to talk about One Piece, in fact. Yeah. I'm about to talk about that one, Bubba Doom. This is my segue. So, when you watch the original Star Wars film and all of them, they start out with excitement. And they grab you. Somewhat like the original 77 film. Remember, by the time it gets to a real long spot where it's relatively quiet after the droids have been, have been taken by Luke and Uncle Owen. Before that, there's a lot of interesting things going on. And then so it has kind of a quiet spot and then gets back going again. Star Wars never lets you sit around too long. It's never boring. It's never dull, the real one. It's always leading you somewhere you've never been or giving you thrills, giving you excitement. Empire Strikes Back the same way. Even Jedi, I have my problems with Return of the Jedi, but it's the same way. That is what Star Wars is supposed to do. Star Trek doesn't always have to be excitement, but it's supposed to be interesting and fascinating. And at its best, that's what it does. But something like these things, anything with the title of Star Wars should be exciting. There should be an exuberance to the very feel of it, to the very mood. Chris Perger says, Globby, so what you're saying is that somehow Disney managed to insert Alan Moore's voice at an infrasonic level only capable of inducing sleep. Moore says, this is Star Wars is for children, and some faces so while you're watching this show, you'll go to sleep. Yeah, I don't know. But I'll tell you this. It just, you sit there and you're like, these people aren't, there's no passion in it anymore. There's passion in real Star Wars. Even look, say what you want about the prequels. A lot of people hate them, and I have issues with them. I'm not the biggest prequel fan, nor detractor. I like some of them here and there, but there are a lot of exciting scenes in there, and there's still some emotion to them. Joe Dog. Yes, I prefer the original trilogy, but I like a lot. The sequels, the prequels are okay. They at least feel like Star Wars. They're not great Star Wars, in my opinion, but everything else is not Star Wars. Everything after that. I thought, Rogue One had some Star Wars energy to it. It was okay. Mandalorian first couple seasons were, it was at least something different that wasn't all that bad. Was it Star Wars? But everything after that has been dog shit, and they managed to miss the actual feel of Star, especially Andor and also Ahsoka. When I'm watching Ahsoka, my eyes glaze over, and I liked Rebels. Again, Clone Wars and Rebels were pretty decent animated shows. And there was at least some Star Wars excitement to those shows. But Ahsoka, it's like I'm watching everyone just sitting around, just like it's as bad as Andor. And I got 4 episodes in Andor, couldn't take it anymore. Except I will give it some credit. I was getting some nice sleep. That you want some sleep, you go find Andor or Ahsoka. Saber the dim squirrel, hello there, welcome. So here's my segue. Contrast Ahsoka with a show on Netflix that most people don't know is based on a manga, a very successful, popular manga and anime, and that's, of course, called One Piece. As I've probably informed you all before, my son, I'm old, by the way, my son's in his 30s. His favorite thing is One Piece. He loves the manga the best. He does like the anime. And he's hardcore. He does not want to watch the live action. And he's always been trying to get me into those. And again, Ravenscroft, good to see you there. Welcome. And it's not like I'm doing it to aggravate him. I just really don't like manga or anime that much. And so I'm done with Ahsoka. I'm going to talk about One Piece a little bit. Just a little. I'm not going to spoil anything. So, when a while back when they were, when the first pictures came out, when they're announcing that they were doing a live action One Piece, I felt bad for him or fans of One Piece because fans of Cowboy Bebop got screwed over by Netflix by that being a horrible show. Now, I had people beg me to watch Cowboy Bebop years ago, and I watched 1 or 2. It didn't. I understand it was good. It just wasn't my thing because it was anime. I don't know if you could force yourself to be into anime. Either or you aren't. I like a few things, but no offense to my anime fans. I wish I could, because if you could get into anime, if you can get yourself there and you like it, there's tons of great stuff. I'm fully convinced of that. And you got you got an endless supply of great stuff to get into. And that's with manga or anime. It's absolutely true. Something about it. Now, and again, I'm trying to come over. I remember I read some manga. I used to love Lone Wolf the Cub. I've seen some anime, and that I liked, but anyway, we'll see what happens. But the point is, we were pretty sure, because of what happened with Cowboy Bebop, the Netflix terrible show, that it was going to be the same deal with One Piece. I knew, because of my son, how big One Piece is over there in Japan and even around the world. It's gigantic. It's one of the biggest sellers. And there's thousands of chapters of the manga, tons and tons of the anime. So, therefore, I respect, and the creator of the thing. I respect. I'm a big time believer in creators' rights. So many comics greats have been screwed over out of their creations. So I've always been very, very pleased to know that Mr. Oda, I can't remember the exact name of the gentleman who created One Piece at the moment. That he owns his own creation. He's in charge of all of it, which is so rare a thing these days. Or even when such a thing as IP started to exist, it's so rare that the original creator owns all the rights. But in this case, he does. Still, when I saw pictures from this thing, I'm like, oh boy. Fans of this are going to be really pissed off. Dave J. Sound, what's up, buddy? So I figured fans of One Piece would be upset. Then people started to watch it just to see. They were going to give it a chance. I had no interest in it. I was never going to watch it. Not just because of my son. Even if he told me I should watch it, I probably, if he had, it had been such a phenomenal thing, I probably would have in that case. Ravenscroft says, Clobbererin times, my girlfriend got me into anime a bit. It's not all great, but Cowboy Bebop was good. The anime, not the series. Vampire Hunter D. I do remember Vampire Hunter D was so good. I'm open to it. Yeah, fair enough. And that's a great thing, because if you get into it, or if you get even just a little into it, there's a lot of stuff to watch. So everybody was just going nuts about how great One Piece was over the past couple of weeks. Big channels that I'm friendly with, familiar with in this big fellowship that we have. A lot of people who had previously hated stuff like Cowboy Bebop anime, live action and whatever. So I got to admit, I got curious. After the 15th time I saw someone giving it a raving review, and I thought, it's such a raving review, I probably won't like it myself. Then I was like, oh man, my son's going to kill me if I watch this, because he don't want to watch it no matter what. I even asked him. I said, I hear it's getting a lot of good word of mouth. You sure you don't want to watch it? He got rid of our Netflix, by the way. I said, no, I'm not watching it. All right, it's okay. So I found the means of watching it. A friend helped me out, because I was just too curious. I must admit, I only watched one episode. And I'm here to tell you, One Piece is what Star Wars once was. It is what Star Wars should be. Exciting, exuberant, in other words, fun, imaginative, and of course, faithful to its source material. Everything changed. People say there's some changes, but the changes were made by the creator of the comic, of the manga. The manga creator changed anything, even made them reshoot some stuff. So, in other words, nothing got on that screen that he didn't approve of. Even if it was all, some stuff might have been changed here and there. There are only 8 episodes. First episode had me hooked. I couldn't wait to watch the next one. And I just enjoyed the hell out of it. I only got to watch one episode because it was very late the other night when I watched it. Then I watched another one the next morning. I was like, and then when I finally had time to sit in front of that stuff, I binged the hell out of it. It's only 8, and I plan to go watch them again this weekend. I just couldn't get enough of it. The characterization, the story, of course, is great, and the story, but it's the characters and it's the actors. What a cast! This cast is perfect. The kid playing Luffy is perfect. Zoro, perfect. Nami, all of, across the board, it's his cast, it's the cleverness, and the thing is, this show never lets you. It never lets you go into any kind of yes, obviously there are chills and thrills and scary stuff, but it's perfect balance of humor and action and adventure and characterization, a sweetness of philosophy. There's no modernity in this thing at all. The highest compliment you could pay something in 2023, as far as entertainment, is there's no modernity in it. What is modernity? Modern day sludge and shit that you'll find in almost all of pop culture entertainment. This show is its own animal, and it doesn't try to be anything like anything new. It's a throwback by being faithful to the original source, and it's that kind of. It has the kinetic energy and the excitement, and the feel, and the overall mood of when Star Wars when at its best. Not just Star Wars, a lot of other things, but the excitement level. And I couldn't get enough of it, man. I wish it had been 20 episodes. We're only 8. And again, I had no dog in the hunt. My son, even though he was a One Piece fan, he wasn't going to watch it. He didn't give a shit whether it was good or that bad. He sat and watched 1 or 2 of the later episodes with me. He never even watched them all. He doesn't care. He's got his manga and his anime, and I think I now want to go back and look at the anime. The manga and the anime. But I'm using it as an example. It's the perfect thing. You could not find a more perfect thing to bounce off of than Ahsoka. Here you go. Ahsoka is such a chore to watch. It's like work. It's like pulling teeth. You're sitting there, and I'm like, oh boy, yeah. Star Wars is supposed to dazzle you. There's nothing. The visuals are pretty good on Ahsoka. There's nothing dazzling. It's supposed to challenge you. There's no challenge. It's supposed to make you really want to watch these characters win and fight. Yeah. Bubba Doom says, my boy is watching the anime now. He wasn't an anime guy before, so he watched it. So he watched the show, and now he's watching that. I hear a lot of people are getting into the manga. They were already huge. It didn't. By the way, One Piece never needed this show. Here's another great thing about it. It didn't need it. Obviously made the guy a lot of money. And they renewed it for the second season, which is great. But it didn't need it. He could have done without it. And it still made the guy tons of money as a manga and an anime. But, Netflix does pay a lot of money. Live action shows do make a lot of money when they're successful. This one is. And again, I cannot say enough about that kid playing Luffy. He's brilliant. He gets me just as enthused as he is. That's the thing, man. The actors Rosario Dawson's a beautiful woman, a fine actress. I'm watching her. I'm like, there's no blood inside of her. Like she's a zombie walking around speaking these lines. I'm saying everyone on Ahsoka talks like this. Now, Ray Stevenson, great actor, rest his soul. He's an interesting character on the show, but even he's, reserved, and he's supposed to be active. And the difference is he's actually supposed to be that kind of a character. There's no Sabine. She was kind of at least a sort of a perky character. I wasn't like the biggest fan of hers or anything on Rebels, but she was at least something of an upbeat type of a character. Not here. The best character on Rebels, the upbeat one, we don't get to see till episode 6. That's Ezra. Oh, spoiler. Who cares? If you're worried about spoilers on Ahsoka, I don't know what to tell you. Admiral Thrawn, they even made that disappointing because Admiral Thrawn's, I don't know. Eric K, what's up, buddy? Bobby, I will watch Ahsoka as soon as Rosario wears the outfit from that scene in Alexander. Was she in a scene from Alexander? Yowza. Sounds good to me. I don't know what it is, but yeah. But yeah, it's just who gives a shite? about that show. Matthew Pallender, what's up, buddy? You know what I mean? I mean, when no, she wears nothing. Well, there you go. I would watch that Ahsoka episode as well. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Ravencroft, exactly. All this new Star Wars crap is lifeless. Characters with no dimension or relatability. That is too true. Again, when they do get an interesting character like the whatever he is, the Balin, whatever, he doesn't really get much to do. And now the actor sadly has passed away, Ray Stevenson on the show. Nobody else is interesting. Thrawn, okay, he's interesting. They waited till what is this, episode 6 to get Thrawn. I'm sure he'll be in a little bit in the past couple episodes. He's the guy that did the voice on Rebels of Thrawn. Does he look right for him? People say he looks like a blue Elon Musk. I guess he kind of does. I mean, wow. But I don't care. You got to make me care, folks. And that's, if you can make me care, I'll stick with you. But I don't. And when it comes to anything after any of these Star Wars shows, and I've watched them all. Don't ask me why. I'll watch any old thing. I don't know. I have made me care. Like Mandalorian. I didn't care. I watched it, but I didn't care. Every week in the first season, I thought, it's okay. And it was okay. It was like it's a decent show. But here's where I know it's not a very good or great show. My metric, I probably mentioned this before. When I watch a weekly show, now One Piece, of course, was dropped all at once, so you can binge it, and that's what I did. But let's say, for sake of argument, that One Piece had been dropped 1 week at a time. And I go watch it the first week. And that first episode has the effect on me that it did. I'd have been like, oh my God, I can't wait till next week. I probably would have watched that first episode over and over again, like 2 or 3, 4 times. Chomping at the bit for the next episode. Contrast that. I'm not talking, again, Ashoka's a chore. A show that I thought was okay the first couple seasons of Mandalorian. I would watch it. I go, it's all right. Yeah, it's okay. Again, I thought I kind of like the character, and the Baby Yoda hadn't got on my nerves too much early on yet, and they were doing some okay, cool stories. Then it would be over, and I'm not to this day ever gone back and rewatched it, an episode. I'd be like, yeah, that was all right, and it's gone. I have no interest in ever going back and watching it. I'm not even trashing the show. Except that third season was a piece of garbage. Second season, same deal, Mandalorian. I'm like, it's okay. I mean, something to watch. It's something to sit there, to take up 20, 30 minutes of your time, and it's over, and you sit back and you go, well, now I've watched it, and everyone's talking about it. Let's see what everyone's talking about. So big deal. So that's a big deal. So maybe I think that I did get suckered in by the Luke Skywalker scene at the end of season 2. And I watched it a lot. I watched that scene over and over again, but not the episode. So I don't think I ever sat through that again. I mean, after the one time, each one of one time, and I'm done. I don't really need anything. Then there was garbage like Book of Boba Fett, unbelievably horrible garbage like Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the piece of crap third season of Mandalorian. And I'm like, man, it just gets worse. And Andor, my record on that's incomplete because I only watched 4 episodes, and like a 40-minute episode took me 8 hours to watch because I kept falling asleep. Oh my God. Not 8 hours. I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean. So, this one, I'm sitting through it. I'm getting through them. Ahsoka, but it's just, wow, it's the ultimate in who cares television. I mean, I watched this thing and I'm like, and I think of why I would think of things like Why did this happen? Hey, Brian Hepburn, good to see you, buddy. I think stuff like, wonder why, and then I go, no, you don't care. I can say, this didn't make any sense because of no one stopped, but you don't give a shit. It's so meaningless and dumb. It's lifeless. It's a waste of time. David Glenn says I canceled Disney after watching Child Leia outrun 2 stormtroopers. I don't blame you. That was look, Obi-Wan Kenobi was the worst of all these shows. For me, it's the worst because not only because of dumb idiocy like you're talking about, it shits all over original Star Wars. I don't like saying New Hope. I like saying Star Wars. Star Wars 77, if you must. Star Wars. It shits all over Star Wars and Obi-Wan, the character of Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. It shits all over all of them. It absolutely, and Leia, if you want to know the truth of it. It's craps all over her, too, because she shouldn't be portrayed like that. We should never see her as a kid. Who needs that shit? Why? And now you're going to tell me between episodes 3 and 4 that they fought 2 times. Screw that noise. God damn, I hate it. Really hate that piece of crap. Ravenscroft says, Clobber Times, honestly, for me, it ended on Endor. I hear the EU books are good, and I might check some out, but why do we need something further than the close to perfect ending of Return of the Jedi? I can't answer that. I'm not a big fan of Jedi in a lot of ways, but I've come to Jesus with it over the course of 30-something years, and it's in my heart and enough now. But that's the thing. But I can say this: fans who become fans of things, I mean, like hardcore, always want to see more adventures. It is just that's just in your DNA. If you're like a fan, I mean, you can be a fan of only the movies and think there never needs to be anything, I guess, and that doesn't make you any less of a fan. I'm just saying that some want to see comics and want to see books and other adventures because they love the characters so much, even if they don't always line up with the continuity. I mean, for example, when Marvel adapted the first Star Wars film in 1977, they didn't just adapt it. They adapted it in a couple of different formats, including the first 6 issues of the regular monthly title. And then after that, the Star Wars ran as a monthly title with new adventures, that took place beyond the movie. And it was between 2 movies. And Lucasfilm was never really all that forthcoming to Marvel Comics. So Marvel Comics had all kind of crazy stories and stuff that were fun. The artwork was sometimes not quite all the way up to specs. But Marvel never knew what it was getting out of bounds or anything like that because Lucas wouldn't tell them. So it was kind of a tough thing for the editors to deal with. And every time a movie would come along, they have to get in line with that. But that said, fans wanted that. They want more. Fans always want more. And at that time, if you were a Star Wars fan, you were so starved for Star Wars, you would take it because there were only, other than the comic book, there were like a handful of novels. Han Solo at Star's End. Han Solo and the Starless Void, I think. There was a Lando book or 2 that was Splinter of the Mind's Eye. Well, you got the novels is another thing. You were happy to get Star Wars novels back then. But Marvel comic lasted like 107 issues or something. Then later, down the road, Dark Horse picked it up and started doing things, and books started coming out. Novels, the Heir to the Empire and all that stuff, Shadows of the Empire and all that stuff, and there was just this huge market for that big long void between Jedi and the prequels and stuff like that. People just couldn't get enough of Star Wars. It was huge. These characters have captured like the world imagination. So people who read comics got their fill of it. They got a lot of Star Wars comics, and a lot of people got books, So, yeah. David Glenn says, I still want more of the TV show Moonlighting. That last season got kind of I don't know. What'd you think of that last season, David? Because I thought it kind of, some felt once David and Maddie got together, it hurt the show a little bit. I still watched it, but I don't know. Ravenscroft says, I hear you, and I feel the urge for more. But as with Watchmen, the story was over, and to continue, it was really a perversion of the perfection of the original. I don't know. Well, you know what? I understand you, because Watchmen was one story and never needed to be another one. But I do believe some stories lend themselves to further adventures. It's up and down. Some stories are stories. Watchmen's a story. Star Wars is an ongoing saga, but loans itself to further adventures. Yeah, but still, Moonlighting was a great show, though. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I like Jackson. They did a Jackson figure. It's out there. For me, without Han, Luke, and Leia, the universe isn't as interesting. It was them I fell in love with, not the universe. Yeah, no, I'm with you. And in the comics, it was them, But hey, some things end with some. I just think some things are stories. Other things lead themselves to further adventures. Firefly was accidentally ended perfectly. I'm happy all we got was the movie. Any more, and that would have destroyed it. Remember Serenity Valley? Yeah, the movie. Look, I'm in a love-hate relationship with the Serenity movie, Bubba, because I just think there was no reason. If you're going to bring back that and give the fans one last ride, don't kill two characters, beloved ones. And if you're going to kill one, maybe. But he did I hated to see Book die, but okay. Don't do what he did to Wash was horrible, and even he admits it now, I think. Oh yeah, I listen to that song all the time, D-Bud. Some walk by night, some fly by day. Yeah. Moonlighting strangers. I love that show. That was a brilliant show. Let's see here. I'm a leaf on the wind. Oh boy, that was horrible. And you know what? Yet I went to the movie like 10 times. I went to see the movie something like 10 times in 2005. Just because I loved Firefly so much. Now, Blake 7, they should, I would have loved them to do another season of that with that crazy ending. They would have to let me fix it, though. Oh, Dave G Sound. You collect good TV and soundtracks. Coolness, man. I love good old TV soundtracks. Love them. Avon lives. My friend Claude Minimus, he met Paul Darrow at a convention, and he told him that Avon lived because all he had to do was duck. And all those Federation nuts and klutzes shot each other. I think if they had done a part 7, 8, 9 within 10 years and featured Han, Luke, and Leia, it might have worked, but I think they waited too long. They did wait too long. But look, here's the thing. Gary Kurtz, there were a lot of plans for the next 4, 7, 8, and 9. Gary Kurtz and others, they thought, before Gary Kurtz got chased away and they took Jedi down a different direction, which really pisses me off, George. All they had, look, after Jedi, wait Maybe wait 6 years. And then, hey, Ace Cast Iron. Oh, man, the ending of Blake 7. He sold us, Avon. All of us. Even you. Is it true? Avon, it's me, Blake. Stand still. Have you betrayed us? Have you betrayed me? Talon doesn't understand. Neither do I, Blake. I set all this up. Yes. Avon, I was waiting for you. And then boom, 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 right in the gut. What was that all about? I think it was a plan. I think he was the clone. Or it was all faked between Avon and Blake. Yeah. Good to see you, Ace, buddy. That last part before he shoots him, though, when Blake's, Avon, I was waiting for you. Oh, my God. Have you betrayed us? Have you betrayed me? I love that episode. I should hate it, but I love it. I can't help it. Nevertheless, I have a scheme out of it. And there was a novel written not too long ago after that by Tony Atwood that talked about how some of them survived. But look, Lucas should let 6 years go by, then start over again. I know Harrison Ford wanted Han Solo to die. Fine, kill him in the next movie if you have to, but keep the other ones, have them. They said it was supposed to be about, they were going to send them out into the space to find other Jedis and stuff. I don't know. It would have been nicer to see those characters come back for 3 more movies. I wrote a post, Gouda Primes, that sort of corrected the ending while trying to honor the power of it. Please, Clobby, it's too painful. It is painful, but I don't know. Here's the thing. They should have made another season. They talked. Remember, 4th season wasn't going to happen. They made the 3rd, and they thought they were done. And then they said the 3rd season was it. And then when the fourth season got greenlit, they were all shocked that they were coming back for a 4th season of Blake 7. They already blew up the Liberator. Spoiler alert. I'm one of those few that I love the 4th season. A lot of people don't, but I love it. And no Ravenscroft, the one with the theory on how they brought Avon and Blake, set it all up. I haven't, but I have my own theory on that sort of thing. Did you ever read Afterlife by Tony Atwood? It's a book, an official Blake 7 BBC book. They had 2 of them. They were paperbacks. One was called the Blake 7 Program Guide. The other one was Afterlife. It was a novel about after Gouda Prime. Avon, spoiler alert, Avon and Villa survived, but a few others did too later down the road. But mostly it's Avon and Villa. Remember when Villa... Remember the episode Dawn of the Gods when Villa was all dizzy and he woke up and there's Avon, like a bunch of Avon faces spinning around in his head. He goes, I'm in hell and it's full of Avons. Brian Hepburn says, I kind of expected Tarrant and his brother to be Blake's sons that only Avon kept secret. When Tarrant joined the crew as ending cliffhanger, but then found Blake didn't work out that way. Blake wasn't old enough to be their father. Interesting, Brian. It's Dave G. Shelton says, I have a Paul Darrow signed Avon pick. I have all the cassettes of B7 interviews. Caldor said his autobiography. Watched everything he's been in on TV stage. I really wish I'd met him. Do you have his book that he wrote? Oh, you have Afterlife. Cool. Do you have the book he wrote, Avon, A Terrible Aspect? What am I saying? Of course you do. His droll type. Oh man, he was the best. That snarl when Avon would said, "If you didn't want the answer, you shouldn't have asked the question." Keely Chow, Roll Tide. Yep. And there's this, of course.
What about you?
What about me?
Why don't you go?
You are expendable.
And you're not.
No, I'm not. I am not expendable. I'm not stupid, and I'm not going.
I am not expendable. I saw that one on someone put that on a bumper sticker once. I saw it at a con. Wish I'd have got that one. No, but I have you and him on you. Oh, I'd love to get that book. I want to get that book, Dave. Yeah, but see, back in the 90s, I don't know if you know, he wrote a book called Avon, A Terrible Aspect, which was Avon's origin leading up to Spacefall. Joe Dog, what's up, buddy? He says, have you read Starjammers? Yeah, you talking about the Walt Simonson long ago. I don't remember much of it. The graphic novel. You're talking about the Walt Simonson book, right, Joe? I don't want a show where Blake has been killed by Avon and Avon has to run around having knowingly killed his... Yeah, me either. Show was really about the relationship between the two. Ravenscroft, that's why if you're doing it, end it. I hate that they ended it that way, but they left it open because we know there's a clone out there. We also know they could have faked it. Remember, Garrett Thomas agreed to do that episode if they showed a lot of blood. He wanted he wanted Blake to be dead, which bothers me. But you're right. I would not have wanted a fifth season with that. They could have found like some other way that was faked. It has to be faked. I can't accept it either. But we're never going to be. That's why the book by Terry Atwood, which was interesting, Afterlife, the official BBC novel that takes place after it, I don't agree with his interpretation of the character of Avon, the way he wrote it. It's a very interesting book. It's pretty cool in some ways. I don't entirely agree with the way he wrote. He wrote that. Well, Dave G. Sound. If I ever run across a copy of the book, I'll see if I can. It's a hardcover. It's pretty good. Paul Darrow. Did you see those other Paul Darrow books? Those ones he wrote recently. I only got the first one. I've got an audio drama with him reading it. It's him like Avon 40 years later. It's kind of not that great, to be honest. Avon should have killed Tarrant by some oopsie betrayal. Leave him in an exhaust vent and let guards him. I'd be fine with that. I like Tarrant. See? And here's what Avon was not evil. Oh, you have the cassette. What? Yeah, I had did they do cassettes of that? This is like pretty new stuff. I got cool. Avon's not evil. Was never evil. And he certainly wouldn't but when it comes to self-interest, what happened with Villa now? Villa, come out. Villa, I know Villa, when he's trying to call to Villa in the episode Orbit, I almost think he was psychologically betraying himself by acting like that, knowing that would spook Villa. And there's no way Villa was going to come out and let himself be shot. Because remember, he snapped back to Villa. I really do know how they did it. Oh, man. We might just do Blake 7 next for our clubhouse. But I don't know if Raquel and Mark want to, though. Maybe tomorrow night we'll do a poll on it, see what happens. So we'll see. Who knows? We'll see. But whatever it is, it'll be fun. Remember, I ranked all my episodes of Blake 7. He was probably something of a sociopath or a psychopath. There's a scene in the episode Blake, which is brilliant. This director was brilliant. I mean, the scene when they were still on Scorpio at the beginning, talking to Orac, and about the about what was going on on Galda Prime, and when he says thieves, Avon's reading. He says thieves, and they show Villa. Killers, and he shows Dana and Sulin. Mercenaries, and it shows Tarrant, and it cuts to Avon and goes, psychopaths are as unwelcome now as the farmers once were. But Avon wanted to be worse person than he was, and his constant fronting was driving him nuts. Yes, and in the third season, that's why he resented Blake, because he didn't want to admit that he was that good person. And that scene at the end of Star One, where he says when Blake tells him, Avon, for what it is worth, I've always trusted you from the very beginning, which was different because in the very beginning of that episode, there's that great confrontation where basically saying, when it's over and done with, I will take you back to Star One. Well, first he goes, why are you listening to this drivel, Blake? We've got one clue and one only. We could take Star One. Let's get on with it. Jenna says, very sterling. What made you? When did you become a believer? And Avon says, show me anyone who believes in anything, and I will show you a fool. And then Blake says, I meant what I said on Goth, Avon. We are not going to use Star One to control the Federation. We are going to destroy it. I never doubted that. I never doubted your fanaticism. As far as I'm concerned, you could destroy whatever you like. You could start up 100 revolutions. You could lead the rabble into victory. Oh, and you could wade in blood up to your armpits. And you could lead the rabble into victory, whatever that might mean. When Star One is done, it's finished, Blake. And I want it finished. I want it over and done with. I want to be free. And then Callie interjects, but you are free now, Avon. And Raven says, I want to be free of him. That growl, that snarl, man. And Blake says, I never realized. You really do hate me, don't you? To which he answered, when we have dealt with Star One, I will take you back to Earth, and then the Liberator is mine. Agreed? Agreed. But Blake's ever the manipulator, he says, assuming the others go along with it. Jenna says, why should we? And then Villa says, yeah, why should we? It's all a bit high-handed, if you ask me. So, and then I love later, after the conversation's broken up, Callie looks at Blake and says, are we fanatics? He says, does it matter? Yes, it does. I mean, very many people will die without Star One. He says, I know that, Kelly. But don't you see, what we've been doing all right so far is just senseless. If we don't finish the mission, it's just senseless killing and destruction. Without purpose, without reason. We have to win. It's the only way I can be sure I was right. And she goes, you were right. And that great bit of line, those great script right there talks about how, yes, Avon's a bit of a fanatic. And Blake hates him and loves him at the same time, because later at the end of the episode when he says, for what it is worth, I've always trusted you from the very beginning. Blake's saying that to Avon, and it pierced Avon's soul. And he was looking for Blake. And when he has that back and forth with the fake Blake in Terminal, which was really impulses created and put inside his head by Serverland's psycho manipulators, you can see how he was glad to see Blake. He thought he was seeing him for real. Then later, when she tells him it was a drug-induced and electronic dream, and you were my greatest ally, Avon. You made it easy because you wanted to believe it. You wanted to believe that Blake was still alive. Because he kept saying, we made a deal. You promised me Blake. So when he didn't get Blake back, he was ready to kill her. I mean, he was like, man, oh man, did he get fed a bad one. Sorry, I get ranting about Blake 7. I don't stop much. If you review Blake 7, it might take 3 hours per episode, Clobby, reenacting each episode. Sorry, I promise I won't reenact anything ever again. Yes, Blake made him look into himself. Avon didn't want that softer core awakened. It was easier to be hard and cold. Remember that exchange when Callie said, we have a saying amongst our people, the R&R. he who trusts cannot be betrayed, only mistaken. And Avon said, lifespan amongst your people must be rather short. And then later, he actually, after Kelly died, right after she died, in the very episode Rescue, he shows that Avon callousness when he says, he who betrays he who trusts cannot be betrayed, only mistaken. That was a saying amongst the of Callie's people. Because Callie was murdered, and so were most of her people. I always noticed the times when Avon worked with the crew or helped save them, even when it wasn't directly in his self-interest. Horizon is a bad example. Yeah, Horizon doesn't count. He needed them. Good night, Penny. You take care. Have a great one. I'm glad we got some Blake 7 fans here. It's always fun to talk some Blakes. I mean, look. Throwing Villa out was very Avon-esque. Yeah, but, he kind of gave himself away. Why would he act like that knowing that, Villa would suspect him? Oh, thanks, Bubba Doom. Yeah, Blake 7's I appreciate that. We need Clobbies. Avon, Alan Moore. My name is Alan Moore. I am Avon, and I'm going to shoot you in the throat of this airlock, you snake-coat bastard. The Liberators, some bunch of some faces. All the Liberator crew are just a bunch of some faces. Well, yeah, even the time when... Oh, dear. Was it Blake? Blake he asked Avon about the planet below. Does it support any intelligent life? And Avon said, does the Liberator? They were so great together. Blake and Avon were great together, but that's why you brought along Tarrant. Tarrant was good for that as well. He did a good. I like Tarrant. They were all great characters. Oh my goodness. Well, Wildcard Wednesday night needs a theme, doesn't it? No, I don't think. I'm not so sure. I think he was betraying himself. I don't think it was bad acting. Avon was losing his mind the whole time through season 4. Almost, not every, but almost every episode had Avon, a great Avon ending. Let's see. First one being, at the end of the episode, Traitor, which was the third of the season, when Tarrant and Dana came back with the rather disturbing news that Servalan was still alive. I love that episode. But the episode, actually, I don't think it's a very good episode, but the ending, I love the ending of it when they tell Avon that she's still alive. They've seen her. And first he's like, he's not believing, and and Tarrant's saying, you're just running away from the truth. He says, how the hell did she get off the Liberator? I don't know. But it was her. And so after a few him and haws, he finally admits it. He finally goes, all right, I believe you. And then there's this scene. It comes, it's Ava. I didn't want her to die like that anyway. I need to kill her myself. Bum, 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 bum. They had a bunch of great Avon endings that season, which I love the 4th season. A lot of people don't like it, but I love it. There wasn't the emotional connection with Tarrant. I always felt that Avon honestly, he did. I think he kind of despised him in the 3rd season. But if you notice in the 4th season, he started finding it useful. And they actually, Avon and Tarrant kind of teamed up a lot of times in the 4th season. Is Clobby's Alan Moore just Orac with a thick? I don't think so. I didn't think that had anything to do with Orac. Orac's just another bloody fascist computer. So there's another one. What's another Avon ending of the 4th season that was great? Oh man, the game. Not games. Gold. The episode Gold. Avon, of course, it was a heist episode. It was kind of funny, and one of Avon's old quote unquote friends gets them involved in a heist and with this black gold. And if you remember the last episode, the end of the episode, they thought they'd gotten away with $10 billion in cash, and but Avon had pulled a few things behind their back. And they were all, Orak gave them some news that he ended up making a deal with Serverland. In fact, he gets a gun on her at one point. He says, "I've been waiting for a chance to kill you." And she goes, "The price of my death would be your own." And he goes, "Well, the sacrifice might just be worth it." And she goes, "You're not the sacrificial type, Avon. You're right. We'll do businesses." So he says, "That's true." Does business with her. And it's like they have an exchange. They both have a lot of money. However, we get back on the ship, the Scorpio, and Avon, Orak's informing them of stuff so that turns out they didn't screw her over all that well. Turns out, first of all, Sulan's kind of aggravated. "Did you know it was Serverland?" He goes, "Would it make any difference if I did?" And Tarrant goes, "You know damn well it would. Serverland's not just some greedy gangster." And Avon said, "Surely that is exactly what she is." Avon, to which Tarrant took a little affront to because of something that happened in an earlier episode. And then Sulan said, "You took risk with our lives, Avon." He said, "For $10 billion in cash and an outside chance of killing Serverland, would you rather I hadn't?" And in comes Orak. "It was not sensible." What is that supposed to mean? And Orak explains that all that money they've stolen won't mean anything because they got tons of paper money in there right there. It's all been invalidated because Serverland bought up the whole bank and stuff that had it in the first place. And Tarrant walks up to Avon and tears it up and sticks a wad in Avon's hand and says, "We just risked our lives for nothing." And then Sulan says, "Not for nothing, Tarrant. We risked our lives to make Serverland rich." And she throws the money all up in the air. And it's falling down. And we look at this scene of Avon laughing, going, that laugh. He's just laughing his ass off. That's one of my favorite 7 innings ever. Oh, God. The creepier ending, of course, was Orbit. When Villa tells him, "It's a trip I won't forget, Avon." "Well, you know what you always say, Villa. You know you are safe with me." Bum, 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 bum. So, the Avon ending of the 4th season, and yes, he was breaking up. Brian says, Orak FTW. Slade was so sad sounding with that mumble. The same actor, though, Peter Tuddenham, doing both voices. There's someone on YouTube that collected a bunch of 10-minute compilations of Avon quotes, 10 minutes of Orak quotes. Pretty entertaining. Cool. Back when with my primitive VCR copying skills back in the late 80s, I recorded I of course had every episode of Blake 7 on tape, VHS tape that I recorded, and I took every Avon scene that I loved and put it was like a 5-hour compilation, and I put it on one tape so I could just watch Avon scenes. I called it Avon, the Man, the Myth, the Bastard. The Bastard. Or I should say the Bastard. Avon, the Man, the Myth, the Bastard. Yep, he was also Zen. There's a video of Peter Tuddenham doing custom answering machine messages as Orak, Zen, and Slave. I wonder if I could get those. Think you can get those online anywhere? I'd love to get Zen or Orak. "You've now called the number of Clobby. He's not, and I can't do Orak to save my life." "I could probably do Zen, though. Information. You have now called the number of Clobbererin times." Information. I will say there are a lot of spoilers being thrown around here. Well, you may want to. I'm sorry. Yeah, but they're very vague spoilers. They're very vague. By the time you watch the show, nothing's ruined. You know. Yeah. Alder Belamonte, what is up, my friend? What do you got there for us? Says, Bobby, besides sci-fi shows, what other favorite retro TV series from the 70s to the early 2000s have themes of drama, comedy, or action would you, Mark Raquel, like to review? Well, we're going to keep it geek and sci-fi here. So I wouldn't necessarily review them here, and I can't speak for them because they're not here right now. I can just name you some of my favorites if that helps. From the 70s, The Rockford Files is one of my all-time favorite shows. It that would be fun to review Rockford. I love that show. 70s. One of my favorite shows from the 70s is Alias Smith and Jones. It was short-lived. It was one of the last of the quote-unquote westerns. It was a western. It did remake a lot of the Maverick scripts and stuff, but that was a great show that had tragic reasons for ending. I don't know. Are you familiar with Alias Smith and Jones, Oliver? Anyone else? Favorite retro TV series, 70s to the early 2000s. Good question. I like it. Those are two of my biggest. Well, thank you, Ravenscroft. I appreciate that. That's funny, Clobby. I did a video with a couple of VHS machines in the 90s called Battle Time, where I pitted clips of the Enterprise D, Liberator, BSG against each other. That's pretty cool. I'd like to see that. Hell yeah, just got the name. And I've got the theme in my head. Poor old Pete Duel, huh? What a shame. Oh, yeah, Columbo. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Great show. Yeah. D-Bud, Alias Smith and Jones was so great. Well, Pete Duel. Not Roger Davis so much. Poor old Roger Davis. Night Stalker. Yep, I love Night Stalker and $6 Million Man, but I think Oliver was saying non-genre type stuff. Drama, comedy, or action. This is Jim Rockford at the Tome. Leave your name and message. I'll get back to you. Hey, Rockford, very funny. I ain't laughing. You're going to get yours. With it. God, that show, man, that theme by Mike Post used to play on the radio, man. It was a big deal. That was really great. I loved it. Great show. James Garner was fantastic. Magnum PI, that was a good show. Not the remake Drivel Filth, of course. They go screw themselves in the face. Yes, there is a show called Columbo's Wife, it was called Mrs. Columbo, starring Kate Mulgrew. That was a weird show. I never watched much of it, but Outer Limits, Night Gallery, great choices. But like I said, he was looking for non-genre type stuff. So I didn't watch Police Story or Police Woman all that much. I watched Beretta and Starsky and Hutch. Starsky and Hutch was cool. That was a cool show. I liked it as a kid. The A-Team, does that count? It's an action show. Yeah, the A-Team. Maybe you could hire the A-Team. That's a great show. I love the A-Team. Who doesn't love the A-Team, for God's sake? No, now, what's wrong with you? Kojak, Beretta, yeah. Yeah, Stephen J. Cannell. Yeah, he did a lot of great stuff. Non-genre. But you did say comedy and drama. The drama stuff doesn't interest me personally. The comedies, of course, the first 3 seasons of MASH, I love. Barney Miller was a great show. They've been airing that recently. I just pop a TV on every now and I see it on there. Go, oh man, I every time I like just happen to turn a TV on and see Barney Miller for the first time in years, it either seems like it's always the same episode, or I just remember those episodes. Clobber Times watched The Fall Guy for Heather Thomas. Well, who didn't, man? I watched The Fall Guy. And yeah, for Heather Thomas, but it was a stupid show, but I liked it. It was really dumb. Non-genre, homicide, life on the street. There you go. Original, real deal, Hawaii Five-0. Yep. Oh yeah, I saw a little bit of Dempsey and Makepeace. Glynis Barber. Oh, wowza. Wow. I love Glynis Barber. She was sweet. Let's see. What's another? It's tricky because we do a lot of geek stuff. We do geek stuff here so much, but it's interesting. Yeah, I didn't see a lot of Kojak, a little bit of it, but I did watch Beretta. Dad Man Walking, what's up, butter? The Dad Man Clan, I hail to you. But Rockford would be my favorite of all of them. Oh, Mannix, cool. Mannix was good too. Oh, and McMillan and Wife. Remember that? Yeah. By then, since you said the 70s, there weren't too many Westerns left, but Alias, Smith and Jones. God, that was underrated. That was an underrated show. Kung Fu. How about Kung Fu, everybody? Wah, wah, wah. So that interesting question there, Oliver. I'm glad somebody mentioned that one, Gwag. Favorite series besides Star Trek was Gwagner says BJ and the Bear. Well, it was all right. I'm guilty of watching BJ and the Bear. Also, the spinoff, Sheriff Lobo, didn't last long, did it? I confused Mary Tyler Moore and Rhoda as a kid. Really? I watched a little bit of Mary Tyler Moore. That was actually a pretty funny show. Bob Newhart show was a funny show. But Newhart was even better. I think Newhart was better than Bob Newhart. Fight me. Man, Newhart was brilliant. That show was so fucking freak-assing funny. I loved it. Yeah. Bubba Doom like the Dukes of Hazzard. There you go. Quincy. It's murder. Dave G. Enos, dude. That didn't last a season, did it? I'm glad that you mentioned it. You know what I love? I love hearing about these shows and looking into these shows that lasted like 5 minutes. I mean, literally, like, some of them lasted like a few episodes. The great Paul Chatto has a great channel, of course, and he goes on Midnight Heads After Dark, and he's a cool dude. He has a couple of segments he does on his show where he reads from the old. Remember the old TV Guide fall preview. Each year, you get it and you go, wow, look at all these new shows coming out. He's done it from like some years of the 70s. He's done some great videos about those, which I never miss them. They're really fun. Now, Larry, which probe are you referring to? Are you referring to probe with Burgess Meredith, or Isaac Asimov's probe? That's my favorite. You're referring about because it was later called Search. Larry, you telling me that you watched Probe, or there's somebody else in the world that watched Isaac Asimov's Probe but me? Because I'm going to lose it. I'm going to cry. Let's find someone else mentions one of my all-time favorite shows that I thought only I loved. Isaac Asimov's Probe, folks. I've talked about it before. It puts people to sleep when I talk about it. Oh, there you go. Chatto's. There you go. He did 1985, but he's done them from the 70s as well. And some of those shows I don't even remember. It's amazing. Baffled with it anymore. There you go. So Larry, are you talking about Isaac Asimov's Probe? All 7 episodes of pure glory. I love it so much. I thought I was the only one that loved that show. Sheriff Lobo lasted 2 seasons? Oh, wow. Save the local TV Guide article about Garmin Goss that I cut out and keep the DVD on. And I have a friend of mine has I think he has almost every TV Guide that they ever had in the 70s and the 80s. Seems like it anyway. The Secret Agents, you mean Search? You mean Search with Hugh Wyatt Earp guy, Hugh, what was that guy's name? Burgess Meredith, Hugh Wyatt Earp. Come on, man. Tony Franciosa, Doug McHugh. What Hugh am I thinking about? Who's on that show? Larry, I need help. So it wasn't Isaac Asimov's Pro. I'm still back all alone in the wilderness again. My hopes were up there, but they weren't too high. Thank you, Larry. I got to head out, folks. Hey, Ravenscroft, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Okay, confirmed. Oh, well, I thought I had me a compadre, my beloved Isaac Asimov's Pro, but I'm back to being all alone, the only one who loves it. Oh, well. It's okay, Larry. It was nice while it lasted. I do like that show, though. Search. It was called Search. The pilot was called Probe, but the series, which lasted 20-something episodes, maybe, or whatever it was called Search. And it finally came out. What's the Wyatt Earp guy who played Wyatt Earp on the old TV show? Hugh something or other. I mean, guy's a big name. I can't remember, forgetting about him. Dang it. Shite. If you're going to bring up comedies, Night Court. I was finally able to introduce the kids to that. I used to watch it with my old man. It still gives me belly. Night Court was a hilarious show. Great show. Yeah, those guys. Gotcha. Over, I can still hum the theme from Dallas from memory. Oh yeah. Dallas was a very memorable theme. Dallas, that was just a primetime soap opera to me, one of the first, I guess. So it wasn't really my bag, but thing is, it was a family deal. Back then in the late 70s, we just got that VCR, really expensive ass one. And, as a family, we'd all go out and do something. And my mom and dad, they wanted to watch the 3 shows. The 3 shows were this. At 7 o'clock was The Incredible Hulk. At 8 o'clock was The Dukes of Hazzard, and at 9 o'clock was Dallas. Hulk, Duke, and Dallas for years. So I used to set the recorder to record that for them. Could not be reached. For further comment, Hugh O'Brien, thank you. Why was I hung up on the name? It pisses me off. I know Hugh O'Brien. Damn it. You're the man. Thank you so much. I like Run for Your Life from Bingazara, but that was the second I said. By the way, did anyone ever see The Immortal with Christopher George? Now I bet that's obscure. I'm going to bet that because of the crew I have here with me. Yes, Larry, Asimov's Probe only had 7 glorious episodes, but it's in my top 5 all-time favorite shows, and I love it. I adore it. And I'm the only one that does, but I love it. I just can't help it. It's on, and I wish they would do it. They'll never do a DVD, and my old bootleg DVDs are starting to rot, and I'm getting very scared. I'm going to lose them to the copies on YouTube are terrible. I'm going to lose them. Yes, Parker Stevenson on Probe. I got to meet him in 2014 and tell him what a fan I was of that show. Basically, Isaac Asimov created it with him and even that idiot Michael Piller, but Michael Wagner as well. And a show of pure joy. It was brilliant. He was brilliant. Only 7 episodes of science fiction mysteries that were so beautifully written and enjoyable. And he was I didn't want to watch that when it came on the air in 1988 because it was the Hardy Boy guy, but it was Isaac Asimov, so I set the recorder to tape it and fell in love with it, and only got the pilot plus a few more episodes. So with the pilot, 7 episodes. And now, for some whatever the reasons are, that obviously because no one cares about it, they're never going to put it out on DVD. They have it aired enough places where I can get I can get copies. I have the copies, the old copies I made. They're always butchered up too now, and they're getting to be my discs are getting to be long in the tooth. That I got to check and see how they are now. I got a bootleg set. I hope that'll hold up because I'm never going to have them on DVD. Those jerks. But I really love it. It was ABC Thursday nights. Kirby Collector said Christopher George inspired the look of Scott Free. Wow, did he? Wow. Joe Dog. What's that? Yeah, Probe is on YouTube. I mean, they're not the greatest copies, but they're on YouTube. Yeah. Favorite Doctor Who episode? Wow, that's a toughie. You know, Joe Dog, if I'm pushed up against it, it's tough to pick it, but I think my favorite Doctor Who episode of all time is probably The Caves of Androzani. It's very close. And, of course, in November, I'm going to do my top 25 list. And I may rearrange that. I don't know because it's tough. But for a while, I think I have that as my favorite. And it's weird because it's very non-Doctor Who-ish. Pyramids of Mars is close. There's so many episodes that are close. Yeah, that's okay. Search was the Probe was the pilot, and then Search was the regular show for that Hugh O'Brien show. Cyrus Jeck, yes. What a performance by that guy. And when you think about that episode, as much as I love it, the Doctor was a damn idiot. He got himself in all kinds of trouble. D-Bud, Braden, I love Braden Morbius. And that was one, my favorite Doctor Who writer, Robert Holmes, took his name off of that when he hated it. He hated what Terrence Dix and the other showrunners did with it. And that's why, if you look at the writer, it says Robin Bland. That's Robert Holmes. He did not like what they did with Brain and Morbius, but I liked it. Sacred flame, sacred fire. That was pretty cool. Still, here we are in September. So October, where everyone is getting in there, doing all their Halloween stuff. That monster season of Doctor Who. There you go. When everybody's getting ready to do doing their Doctor Who stuff. I mean, their Halloween stuff. Sorry, I'm going to be going through since I don't care about Halloween. I'm going to be going through that, doing my Doctor Who, just like binging on Doctor Who again, just jumping back all over it, and just having Doctor Who madness. And leading up to November, I might wait till November to do it. Now it'll be more, because November, of course, is the 60th anniversary, and we all know that the idiotic garbage BBC will not celebrate it properly. Let's just be honest. Morby's brain was too big. Yeah. Oh dear, oh dear. What are you going to do? Man. Well. I have to prep for some anniversary. Prep for the anniversary, too. Have some projects planned? Good. Got some Doctor Who fans here. We talked a lot of Blake 7 earlier. Let's talk some Doctor Who. Terry Nation writing seems always click with me, even some of his non-sci-fi stuff. Click. I love that monster season of Doctor Who. You talk about the Hinchcliffe era? Yeah. I have a lot of monsters, but yes. Got some great copies. Oh, the 67 FF cartoon off the internet. Oh, I got me some bootlegs of those years ago. T-Bud, those 67 FF cartoons. Yeah. Terror of the Zygons is the first Doctor Who story I ever saw, so it will always be a favorite. I think the first one I ever saw was Genesis of the Daleks, but it wasn't. It's like part 2 or something, 2 or 3. It's tough to tell. It was kind of a messy picture. To click with something, it fits into place. Gotcha. Well, he wrote most of the first season of Blake 7. And then, but the best writer on that show was probably Chris Boucher, really. Although, but I love what he did. Blake 7 ranking. Oh my, why'd that change? My top 10 of Blake 7 episodes are all Terry Nation and Chris Boucher. In fact, almost all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are Chris Boucher. 1, 2, 3, 4 are Terry Nation. And 1 is Ben Steed. Then Robert Holmes wrote some great ones as well. Adrian James, hello there from the UK. All right. We've been talking some UK stuff tonight. Talking some Doctor Who. Larry, what was the best era of Doctor Who? Well, of course, that's, I suppose, it's subjective for me. Man, I have a softness for the unit era, but I want to say, if I have to pick, probably almost the entire Tom Baker run, regardless of which beginning of it to the end. Oh, yes, there you go. There were all stories based on old horror movies. Werewolf, Planet of Evil. Yep. Mummy, Pyramids of Mars, Frankenstein, Brain of Morbius. Love them. So, I think I love the Hinchcliffe era as well. Right before, all the way, the whole Tom Baker era leading up before Terry, John Nathan Turner. John Nathan Turner did some okay stuff in my book. A lot of people really don't like him. But he also did a lot of crap sometimes. Blake 7 DVDs have some episodes with commentary by actors, producers, and directors. I have copies of those DVDs. For me, it's the latter part of John Pertwee through the first years of Tom Baker, says D. Bud Martin. I can see that. I do have a soft spot for the unit era, though. I do love those early Pertwee years. It's tough for me to have a favorite era necessarily, but just it's all pretty general. And again, I don't entirely hate the JNT era like a lot of people do. In fact, there's some good stuff in it, but overall, I think it could have been better. I mean, there's still some great stories that got in there. But were they in spite of JNT? It takes a lot of criticism. I saw him at a con once, by the way. By the way, did everybody see my new shirt? I got me a new geek shirt today. It's only slightly switching gears since it's not with what we've been talking about, but I got me a new geek shirt, courtesy of my great buddy J-Man. Legion of Superheroes shirt. Yeah. Let's see here. Good night, Chris. Take it easy, buddy. Thanks for being here, man. Always appreciate you. My earliest Doctor Who episodes were with John Pertwee. Planet of the Spiders, his very last episode. I love it. Adrian, I love that episode. Great one. Yeah, this is a classic cover of the Great Darkness Saga. I like J&T at the time, probably more because he kept the show going, but looking back, a lot of his era was weak. Yeah, but there was some good stuff. There was a lot of good stuff, too, though. J-Man was here at the beginning of the screen, but I forgot to put this up. But I did tell him about it, though. Thank you, Larry. I know I forgot all about it, but I love it. Sometimes it's the little things. You get a geek shirt, you know. Yes, sir. What do I do? Do it the one way. There you go. Great cover, though. I remember Blake 7-2. I watched it in the third series. In the third series? Yeah. Oh, only you said you watched it only up to the third series, or does that mean you didn't watch the fourth series there, Adrian, or what? Gotcha. Well, pretty soon we're gonna be talking a lot about it. Last year I did a show where I ranked every episode. Yay, me! But it was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed doing that. It was on a Wednesday night as well. A Wednesday night. Yeah, you know, Dave G. Sound, good one, by the way. I love Carnival of Monsters. Great. This maybe the really fake sandworms. Maybe the Drashigs. I believe they were called the Drashigs. Yes, they were quite monstrous little puppets, weren't they? Yeah. Scary puppets. Woo. So yeah, there you go. That's great stuff, though. And so Doctor Who will be celebrated properly here in November. I guess I have to have some sort of themes for Halloween. I just don't know what to do. You know, there was even talk of a Blake 7 Doctor Who crossover back when Blake 7 was on. Dish rags. Back when they were when it was on the air, but they never made it happen. You know what, Gwag? You're right. I guess I'll sell it. I will do what I did last time. I'll review some Tomb of Dracula and some of the other Marvel horror books for the Monday night, you know, for the month of October. At least I could do, right? Even though I'm not much. Look, people, hey, I have every respect for it. I love how people get into Halloween. I mean, some people really, really, celebrate it the whole month. It's a big deal. It's Christmas for some people, which is cool with me. In fact, you know, Larry, the there's a great episode of Well, Chris Boucher wrote great episodes of Blake 7, and he wrote a couple great episodes of Doctor Who. He wrote an episode of Blake 7 called Killer, which I love. No, not Killer, Weapon. Excuse me, Weapon. I think he meant about Killer. I don't know. Weapon. Killer was Robert Holmes. And there was a character in the episode Weapon that was never seen again on Blake 7. Well, hey, Don, Ranger Power, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, my friend. So this character from the episode Weapon came along, and there was an episode. It was the Weapon. He was called the Puppeteer on Weapon, though. There was an episode of Doctor Who, a 4-parter called. It's Chris Boucher, yes, Chris Boucher wrote called The Robots of Death, which was an excellent Leela story with, I think it's Leela's first her second adventure, but her first non-introductory adventure. And then years later in the 90s, he wrote a sequel to the book, to the episode Robots of Death called Corpse Marker. And in Corpse Marker, he brings he has the character of Carnell, the puppeteer, the psych man, in that Doctor Who book. In a sense, crossing over Doctor Who and Blake 7. Wish I could find that book. I have it somewhere. I mean, we got to dig it up. So I thought that was pretty cool. Pretty nice. Well, well done, sir. You know, just a little something. Supervoc. What is Supervoc? Breakdown raid. Yay, the breakdown's over already. Wow. Well. So, what else is up with your bad selves tonight? I'm trying to think, what are we going to do tomorrow for the clubhouse? I think that's true. Colin Baker was on a Blake 7 episode called City at the Edge of the World. A City on the Edge of the World, which I love. I have that episode ranked number 11 on my all-time list. City at the Edge of the World is one of the greats. Written by Chris Boucher, of course. The great Chris Boucher. So, yes, Doctor Who will be properly celebrated here up in you. Oh, yeah, a lot of the actors were, actors. Michael Keating, Villa, was on a Doctor Who episode, The Sunmakers. Paul Darrow was on 2 Doctor Who episodes, The Silurians and Time Lash. Jacqueline Pierce was in the 2 Doctors. Prince, am I saying that name? Wait, RRTNZ. Okay, Artens. I'm going to say Artens. No. How about RRTNZ? I'll just say that. Good to see you. Let's see here. Listening in. Just finished work. It's Thursday afternoon down here in New Zealand. Oh, wow. Cheers. Superbuck was a robot designation from Tom Baker, Doctor Series, Robots of Death. Oh, cool. Das Wolfen, good to see you, buddy. Well, there you go. RRTNZ, thank you for that. Damn me for, and I love that episode. I should know better. But anyway, that's Chris Boucher wrote that. It's a great episode. He wrote for Doctor Who, Blake 7, and who knows what else. Yep, Dave G. Sound. He was in the Sun. Keating was in the Sunmakers. Let's see who else on the crew was on Doctor Who. Obviously, Jacqueline Pierce. Oh, obviously, also Brian Croucher was on Robots of Death also, the second Travis. So who else was on there? Yes, plenty of the recurring people have been on. Too numerous to mention. Too numerous to mention. So yeah. Yes, indeed. I missed it again. I guess I missed Doctor Who. I watch it when I could. It's at my fingertips. I can watch it whenever I want. But I miss when there was big excitement for Doctor Who. In my life as a geek, there were some pretty big chunks of it where Doctor Who was in. It was in the zeitgeist, if you know what I mean. It was in the news. It was out there in the air. For example, when I became a fan of it, in 1980, I want to say 1981 or whatever. It was just at the outset of the huge, gigantic Doctor Who popularity in the States. And so for a decade almost, Doctor Who was huge here. There was a gigantic fan following because it was being produced. It was on the air over there. We had to wait for episodes, sure. Yeah, Richard Herndon was on Blake 7, that's true. He was on the episode Assassin. So when Doctor Who was gigantic in the States in the 80s, and then that lasted for a while. There was still some enthusiasm. We kept hoping it would come back. We get that crappy 1996 movie, which I personally do not like. I remember when I miss those days, though, when that was the most controversial thing you could say as a Doctor Who fan was that you didn't like that movie. They were controversial. Then things just kind of cooled off. The only Doctor Who we were getting was the novels. Maybe the occasional comics from here and there in the mag, but you know. And then no. It cooled off till 2005. And I remember seeing the star logs and magazines and all that stuff leading up to the Christopher Eccleston run, the Russell T Davies run. Adrian James, that's right. There were a lot of the same overlay actors. Blake 7, Doctor Who, Star Wars in particular. Mr. Reka from Spacefall. So 2005 comes along, and I was going to watch it, but I wasn't all that excited. You know, we didn't even get it. We weren't even getting it aired here till a year or two later, but a friend managed to get it off the internet 2 weeks before its BBC debut, which was a no-no. They weren't supposed to do that. And I really, really liked it. The episode rose, watched it over and over again until we finally got to see more. We would have to download it over here if we wanted to watch it. For years after 2005 started, if you wanted to watch Doctor Who in the States, you had to download it. But eventually it started showing it over here. We kept downloading it anyway. And to get it on time, you know. It became huge for a while, so big, so much though that it was really, what an exciting time that was, 2005 to around 2013 up to the 50th anniversary. Those were some fun times. I mean, even when not every episode was great and I had my issues with the episode sometimes, it was just exciting to be a Doctor Who fan at that point, and they've killed it. That's one thing. We got audio drama as well as the novels in the time. And in the 90s, you had novels and audio dramas, which was fine. I bought them. But it was still not the same, you know. A few of the extras on B5 wasn't the Warrior cast member guy on a Colonial B7. Guy at Colonial and B7. Star Major Honda. Strange how you civilians can give yourselves impressive military titles. Let's see. Star Major. Trying to think about that one. Guy sounds familiar. Star Major Honda. Oh, yeah. Deep Roy, yes. Doctor Who, Blake 7. Amongst other many things. Weird that Star Trek Enterprise ended the same year as Doctor Who restarted. Yep. We lost one thing, got another. The actor who played the villain, the city of death started. Yes, that's Julian Glover. Julian Glover's been in Star Wars, meaning Empire. Doctor Who a couple of times, a number of times on Doctor Who, actually. Blake 7. An Indiana Jones film, a James Bond film. I mean, the Avengers TV show, I think. He's been all over the place. Idiot 3, as we say, Douglas Adams wrote. Douglas Adams did write City of Death, great episode, yep. Shit. 2013 was an amazing Doctor Who year. So many TV specials, books, audio dramas, toys, and merchandise everywhere. That 50th anniversary was special. It was a lot of fun, man. It's a bummer now that the 60th just means nothing. Now, look, even if they hadn't destroyed Doctor Who and we still had something to look forward to, we would be making this a lot more fun than it is. But it's all destroyed now. But still, it wouldn't be quite the same as the 50th, but it still could be a lot of fun. Adrian, yes, I do remember the Tomorrow People. Yes, indeed. They made a couple of shots to remake it, didn't they? But I do remember the Tomorrow People. We used to get that on Nickelodeon in the 70s. Wah, 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 wah. They had jaunting belts. They would jaunt everywhere. They jaunt. Peter Davison was on an episode of the Tomorrow People. Weird fact. He was. He was on Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy as well. I have named Avon. I've named every video game character I played Avon since 1990s. I have named every video game character I played Avon since the 90s. Nice, Dave G. Grim, hey, what's up, buddy? Way to come. Good to see you, sir. Welcome here. Yes, I do definitely remember the Tomorrow People. And the recovery of 2 Troughton stories. Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go. Nice. But we would be so... I mean, imagine what this would be like if Doctor Who hadn't been destroyed. I mean, annihilated. Because I can't imagine me not being excited to see David Tennant play the Doctor again, but I'm not. I'm going to watch it. I'll watch it. Or for me to not be excited about a new Doctor at all. I might take a look at one of the new Doctor episodes somehow. But I don't think I care much. Davison was also the star of that English show. Yep, All Creatures Great and Small. Tomorrow People remake Robbie Amell. Oh, yeah. Cousin of Stephen Amell Arrow. Led the series with Mark Pellegrino. Enjoyed it, but set in the US. Oh, it was one of those. It was CW, right? Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Wow. Well. Gospelsman says, everyone talks about what they would do with a time machine. Me, I would go back and rescue the missing Doctor Who episodes and others, things like it, like adamantimate. I can't say the damn thing right. I watched some of the American sci-fi shows, Battlestar Galactica, Buck Rogers, and Logan's Run. Yep, Logan's Run didn't last too long, but so I guess it made it over there. I think I'm going to rewatch the 50th anniversary specials instead. I will do both. I'll watch those instead, but I'll watch the new one. I don't blame you for not watching it. But I mean, it's David Tennant. They'll probably do something disgraceful. I hate to say it. I don't trust him. And look, I love David Tennant as an actor. I don't trust him. I don't trust any actor. And they've done so much to destroy this franchise or this IP or whatever you call it. This wonderful thing that we love so much, Doctor Who, that they, how do I put it past them? You just keep the deflectors up double front, and when they do screw you over, you just go, well, I was expecting that. Jeez. Yeah, I loved Galactica and Buck Rogers, though, Adrian. Great stuff. Great stuff. So, well, I'll tell you what, my friends. What? I would destroy it if I could, if I had a time machine. I would destroy. Watch the Five Doctors just reboot instead. Yeah, it was funny. Five Doctors just reboot was pretty fun. Pretty dang funny, I agree. Oh, well. We have been here for 2 hours, me friends. Man, I can't believe it's been 2 hours already. Wowzer. So I guess it's about time to start closing up shop, I guess. Well, let's tell you what, before I do that, I'll take any final questions anybody might have for me. If you got anything you'd like to know, ask me before we get up on out of here. If not, no biggie. They already had a disgrace. Oh, fancy. Joe Dog. Oh yeah, well, like I said, we're not quite out of here yet, Joe Dog. I'll see if anyone wants to. But good to see you, though. Thank you. Well, it looks like that's it. Then. No questions. No questions. Oh, when is your? Oh, RN TNZ. Let's see. Asks. When is your LSH stream? Just trying to work out the time difference. Our Legion streams are on my friend J-Man's channel. If we could someone get that link to J-Man's channel back in the chat? He does it. We do it every Friday. No, excuse me. Check that. Friday's the Kirby Fourth World stream. On Monday nights, 3 Mondays out of the year, the month. RN TNZ, forgive me. Let me start over because I'm loopy, I guess. Not speaking very clearly. Sorry. 1 second. Let me clear my throat. All right, now let me get this right. Okay. My buddy J-Man's channel, if anyone can get that, if someone has that link still. If not, I'll get it in a second. On his channel, 3 Mondays out of the month we do our Legion review. And let's see here. It is hang on 1 second, Oliver. I'll be right there with you. We do the reviews, and it's they are 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do not know what that translates for you. But it is 7 p.m. It's 7 at night. And if you go, what you do is if you go to his channel and sub, and then you oh, there you go. Thank you, J-Man. If you go to his channel and sub RR TNZ, you go to and I think he's got the show programmed already. Go find on his live feed and hit notify me, and it'll tell you when the show's on. If you if you subscribe to him, make sure you hit the notification bell, and then it will, and you hit his, you go to that, find that show, go to his main page on his live, that find next week's show for it, and hit notification bell. Hit notify me on that specific show, and it'll tell you when. Now, and it'll tell you by your time as well. Oh, here's a playlist. Thank you so much, D-Bud. Thank you. And here's if you see the D-Bud, he put the playlist in there. That's all of the ones we've done so far. We've been doing it for a good while, but at least it'll help you keep up. So, I really appreciate that. We do 3 issues a week, and we do, 3 shows a month, 3 issues a week, and we're in chronological order, and we've been having loads of fun, and we're going to do it all. We're going to knock it all out. Okay, Oliver Belamonte said, Clobby, will there be any chance you might review any Vampirella comics this coming Halloween? I don't know. I don't think I really have any. I mean, I'm not sure, Oliver. Is that something you would like to see? We could certainly look at a lot of Vampy. Wouldn't hurt to look at some Vampirella pictures now, would it? Wow. Wow, so it's wow, so it's 4 p.m. there. Wowzer. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. So when we're on, I see what you're saying, R. Okay, I got you. Wow. So anyway, we have a lot of fun doing it, though. And we cover the whole issue and definitely put it into perspective. And we love us some Legion. What year are you in now on the Legion reviews? I think we're up to 1965. I want to say, if I'm right, maybe 66, 65 or 66. Larry, I know I checked the other day, but you know me and my memory, but I think it's right up in there. So it means we're not even really close to when they started the to the really juicy stuff, if you will. But I'll tell you this past week on the review, we had the very first issue with hey, Canadian Spider-Man, what's up? Oh, good night, Adrian. Adrian, are you heading out? Someone's saying good night. I don't know who's saying good night to whom, but Adrian, thank you if that's you. Thanks for being here. Canadian Spidey, buddy, what's up? Good to see you. Get this, though, Legion fans. The latest in this past week, one of our issues that we had not only had the first Flight Ring issue. In that very issue, it's the first one where the characters are all given actual names. Up to this point, from 1958 to this point, like 65, they were all by their superhero name. Almost none of them had. A couple did, but most of them didn't have a real, like a real life type name. We love, for years, other Legion fans and I love playing the Legion name game. With each other, we'd say we'd throw a name out like Element Lad, and you'd have to say Jan Ara. Or, Bouncing Boy, you'd have to say Chuck Tane, or if sometimes you could play around, you can say Chuck Tane, you'd have to say Bouncing Boy. For that, the Legion name game between Legion geeks with nothing better to do. And fellow Legion geek fans of mine, we used to do that to each other. Yes, I know. The long summer winters must just fly by. Superboy is Kal-El, Clark Kent, yes. Monel, large, let's make fun of large gland, sorry. Largand, bad boy. Wildfire, Drake Burrows. So anyway, but to have flight rings, but also have the names with a brief bio of each character and stuff like Fanty's pointing out. Dream Girl. Well, Vril Dox is an ancestor to Quirrell Dox. Quirrell Dox, of course, is Brainiac 5. Vril Dox was from Legion 89/90. Yep, exactly. You got the point. There you go. Tenzil Kim, Matter Eater Lad. I love the Matter Eater Lad, Tenzil Kim. There you go. So anyway, this issue it's the first time, this was 1965, and this is the first time they all have names. Almost, there were a couple examples. A couple already did have them. Dawnstar's name is Dawnstar, isn't it? I mean, Wildfire is Drake Burroughs. No, don't worry about RR. That's fine. You did great, man. Look, you got my Legion confused. No, your geek cred is. Hey, look, the fact that you knew Vril Dox is all the Greek geek cred you know. Look how I always screw up, man, with my terrible memory. And it's good to meet a fellow Legionnaire, man. LLL, long live the Legion. I'm glad we got a passel of them here. My great buddy Ace Cast Iron, big Legion fan. Our buddy Lord Thoth, big Legion fan. Fanty Outsider, big Legion fan, of course. And the thing about this show that we're doing on Monday nights is J-Man and Sean, two great guys that I love their channel. We become our channels have become real good friends with each other. Is they never read Legion before. We became friends over the past couple of years, and they saw me going nuts about Legion all the time, you know. And so Jay asked for what would be a good start-off point for him to read Legion. Because he's a little bit younger than me, but he's a voracious. I mean, Superman's his favorite character. He has every Superman appearance ever in one form or another. He loves them all. And he asked what would be a good place to start. And I started him when it started for one Legion, Superboy 197, when it became Superboy starring the Legion of Superheroes. From that point, and he read it for like 20-something issues, and he loved it. And then he decided, no, I want to go back to the very beginning. He said, and he just came up with the idea, why don't we do a show where we review all of them? I said, why don't we do, we were saying, let's do it in chronological order, all the issues, all their stories, and that's what we do, whether it was an adventure, whether it was an issue that was an action, and Superboy, Superman, you name it, in chronological order. So we found a good chronology for that. Now, we make the exception if they were just like show them like in a panel or something once or another. Some of these chronologies even show that. They have to be in the story. And so chronologically speaking, we're doing all their stories, not just in their own titles, whatever comics they were in, from 58 to 1989. So we're going to be a while. We only do 3 a week, but it's so much fun. I don't think Lord Thoth is here, Canadian Spider-Man. I just mentioned him because he's a Legion of Superheroes fan. That's true. Legion is the Gestalt from Red Dwarf also. Well done. Well done, buddy. And yeah, the Shi'ar, the Imperial Guard, they're a Marvel ripoff of Legion. Dave Cockrum pretty much created them. Dave Cockrum had a great run on Legion. See, thing is, our Byrne disgraced what he did to Superboy and disgraced the Legion. So I hate him for it, even though he admitted later that it was wrong. And he did. The times he's drawn Legion look really good. That's what it says. I had the Legion of Superheroes source book for the DC Heroes Roleplay game, Mayfire game. Still have those. I still have those. Those are great books. Love. Yep, Vril was Brainiac 2. Quirrell is Brainiac 5. How long do the people of Kolu live? Wagner says, TwoMorrows Publishing plug The Best of Legion Outpost trade. I have that. That's a good book. I probably have some Legion comics only because of Superboy at the time, says Larry. There you go. So it's going to take some time to do all those, but I'm loving it. Bird destroyed the Legion of Soups. F his mouth. F his mouth. I love you, brother. I miss you, man. All right. Well, I guess, kept you all here long enough tonight, but I really thank you for hanging out with me. It's been great. A lot of fun talking. Well, didn't talk anything particular, but it is Wild Card Wednesday night. That's what it's all about, hanging out with you guys. Hell, I talked about a lot of things. Got to talk about a lot of Blake Seven and Doctor Who and Legion of Superheroes and, all kind of TV shows. And there we go. Thank you, Grim. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Thank you all for being here. I guess let's see here. Let me some show notes, then some shout outs, shall we? And then we will skedaddle. It is after all only Wednesday night. Show notes are as follow. Tomorrow night first I'll be at our good buddy Tom Connor's Midnight's Edge After Dark, as I always am, at 6 p.m. Central Standard, hanging out with that great gang over there. And then my own show, 9 p.m. Central. 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Clobby's Clubhouse with Raquel and Mark. D with a C, that is. Commander Briggs and I will be celebrating 100 of the Clobby's Clubhouse. I'm not sure exactly what we got planned for that yet, but we will have some fun, of course. And then Friday night, I'll be back over to the aforementioned great J-Man's channel. Every Friday night, J-Man and Sean and I are reviewing all of Jack Kirby's Fourth World Saga, starting in 1971, in order, chronological order, of course. We do 4 issues a night on that one. And after that, we're going to make that a permanent Kirby spot and do other great Kirby work, probably it looks like on that. So that's 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 Central. Where are we at? And then, of course, I'm always at the comic shop gang. My good buddy Nicholas Weiser. 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser. That is with those young boys over there who love comics. The Friday night comic shop gang, 8:30 Central Standard Time for that. Then, of course, there's Saturday night Star Trek, 9 p.m. Central. Same Clobby time. Same Trek time, same Clobby channel. I'm waxed tonight. There's no way I'm tired. Just goofy and loopy. Anyway, 4 more episodes, including an infamous one. Just 2 weeks ago, we did one of the most infamous episodes of Star Trek Voyager. What is it about Voyager that's infinite, like these really like infamous episodes? We did Threshold, and boy, was that fun. And we ripped that one to pieces. Well, one that's just as, maybe even more infamous than that one this week. Tuvix, folks. If you're familiar with Voyager at all, if you know your Trek, it's Tuvix time, baby cakes. Mighty Orbots, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. So, yes, get ready for Tuvix, folks. Saturday night, Star Trek. And then, of course, Sunday night, the great chief engineer himself, my good buddy Mark D with a C, has the Sunday Night Geekery, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we geek our asses off, just kind of close up the week in a little stream there. And then sometimes the geekery turns into the eatery with him showing all that food and stuff, making everybody hungry. Okay. And then, of course, Monday, the aforementioned Legion of Superheroes stream, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Well, again, silver to bronze, only Legion that matters. 58 through 89. After that, there ain't no Legion as long as I say so. And I say so. So there we go. Shout outs. Ezra Goldstein. Shalom, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Thanks for popping in. All right. The Wrenchers, of course, the great Eric K., the Bronze Wrencher. Thanks for being here, buddy. Vindicator Wrencher, the Great White North, my good buddy Chris Persia, who had to run out already, but he gets the shout out. All you do, man. Thanks for all you do. D. Bud Martin, the Wrench of Iron. Thanks, buddy. I still want to do another Tuska review one of these days, man. I'm serious. Doesn't have to be Tuska. Anything Iron Man or whatever, man. It was a lot of fun doing a review with you, sir. Lord and Lady Thoth. Avon lives long, live the Legion. The great J-Man. Partner in crime on Earth B, and fellow Legionnaire reviewer and Kirby reviewer extraordinaire, Always great to see you, the wrench without fear. Hungry Boy, Master of the Clobbererin, Steven Super Wrench, Fanta Outsidery, Thor in Vegas, and Maximum Redstone. And let's see who is with us here tonight. The great Ace Cast Iron popped in, and I want to shout him out because he's one of my greatest friends of all time and a great hero of mine. And I love you there, brother. I'm so happy you're out there popping in, man. It does my heart good to see you, buddy. Miss you big time. Bubba Doom 1, thanks for being here, man. Dave G Sound, thank you. Picasso, Matthew Pounder, Ezra Goldstein, Brian Hepburn, Mighty Orbots, Larry, Grim, Don Power Rangers, Mighty Orbots. Again, I think I'll send you again, but you're worth it, buddy. Oliver Belamonte. Let's see here. RRTNZ, thank you for being here. I'm always great to meet new friends, make new friends. I hope you will return. And I hope you'll join us for one of those, or at least catch those streams. Either join us or catch them later. Das Wolfen. All right, buddy. Canadian Spider-Man does what a Canadian Spider can. I miss seeing you there, buddy. I hope you're doing well. Let's see here. I got to scroll some more. Now I need some scrolling before I get to some anybody I may have missed. Adrian James. Almost like Austin James. Let me see up in here. Good night, Bay Rach, for further comment. Thank you, Joe Dog. All right, Joe Dog. Takes me a while to scroll up, folks. I like to catch everybody and thank everybody for being here. It's the least I could do. Get you guys shouted out. I shout you out when you come in, and once in a while, just kind of shout you out when you're out, when we're heading out. Why not? Right? Matthew Pounder, in case I didn't get you before, probably did, but sometimes my memory's a noodle. Gotta be somebody I missed. Come on now. I think, did I get you, Brian Hepburn? Well, got you again, just in case. Ravenscroft was here. Had to run though, but good. I was glad to see Ravenscroft. Penny was here earlier. I do remember that. So that's good. Great to see Penny, of course. Dadman of the Dadman clan walked in and said hello. Dadman walking. Great to see you. All right. Okay. Almost there, folks. Keely Chow rolled the tide in. There it goes. See, I knew there was somebody else. Lemon Pie was here. Lemon Pie. I didn't get to shout out Lemon Pie. Damn it. I must, I miss him sometimes. I hate to do that. So, all right, then. David Glenn was here. That's right. David Glenn. Thank you so much. Almost there. But thank you. Almost there. Saber the Doom Squirrel. Yes, indeed. Good to see you. Picasso. Yes. Doc Fortune. What's up, Doc? Almost got them all. Now I think I do have them all. Claude Selling. See ya. You got to get all the way down there. Claude Selling. Good to see you, my friend. I'm always glad to have you here. And that is up and it. That I believe I covered it. Thank you all. Have a fantastic night. And come see us tomorrow night at the clubhouse. So take care, everybody. Long live the Legion and long live you, my dear friends.
It's clobbering time! Clobberanimo! I just love clobbering time!